Welcome back, and do you like our Corona hair? Corona hair, one of you commented that the other day.
Yes.
I need to cut it, but I'm terrified to cut his hair, and
desperate times call for desperate measures.
just cutting it off. So today we're going to talk about when you're in a serious dating relationship. Courtney actually wrote in an amazing question on our last video saying, my boyfriend and I aren't engaged yet, but we're not new to dating either. We're pretty serious. What does that look like? What should we be doing at this time in our relationship? So James and I have 5 things that we think you should be doing at this time in your relationship. So tip number 1 today might surprise you. It is simply have fun.
It's very easy, especially if you're from a more conservative Christian background, to think, I'm trying to make my relationship more serious. I want to be intentional. The Christian
buzzword.
The Christian buzzword of 2017. But it's really important to have fun.
If this is a really good relationship, you should be looking forward to the time you spend with your boyfriend.
And the feeling will be mutual. You're just gonna love doing things together. And not just like really exciting things like going to amazing concerts, but little things like going to the grocery store or figuring out what to do on like a sunny, warm spring afternoon.
Yeah.
Like those little things that you're...
That's a huge, good sign.
Tip number 2, voice your opinions. Easy if your name is Tiffany Dawn. More difficult for some other of us.
Yeah. Why is that important? Because if you're in a healthy relationship, you're gonna listen to each other, you're gonna respect and value each other's opinions, even when you don't agree with them. And you wanna know, what does that look like? How does he respond to me?
Yeah, suffering in silence is really, you might think it's loving, but it's emotionally immature. Being emotionally honest involves saying, this is what I think. I'm disappointed that you do this. I didn't like that you did this.
This is what I want.
This was hurtful. This is what I need. And that doesn't mean that your loving boyfriend is going to say, oh, of course.
I will do all these things.
Yes.
That's not healthy.
Yeah,
either.
our counselor talks about it being like a negotiation.
An ongoing negotiation.
Yes, I want this. Well, I saw it this way. Oh, okay. Emotionally healthy is to have this discussion back and forth. But that can't happen unless you're saying something. You're being honest.
Yeah.
And if you find that your boyfriend that you like doesn't respond well, isn't willing to negotiate, isn't willing to talk, that's a bad sign.
Big warning sign. Yeah. Tip number 3 is get to know his parents if you haven't already.
I know this sounds cliche. I mean, there's even movies about meet the parents. Comedies, by the way. But the reality is even if someone isn't super close to their parents, even if they don't like their parents, even if they say, I don't feel
Want to be anything like that.
Yeah. The fact that you grew up with them, that these people raised you, that you share their gene pool, is hugely indicative of the issues that both you and your significant other are going to have to deal with.
Not that he'll be exactly like his family, but just where he comes from can tell you a lot about the things that you might have to work through in the future.
Yeah, and what he sees as normal because that's what his family did.
Yeah, it can affect like even your subconscious expectations that you go into for marriage, like even gender roles or whatever it is, like what you were raised with often just seems like, well, this is what everyone does.
Yes.
Even though it's not necessarily. So it's important to like see how the other person's family interacts.
Tip number 4, you're gonna love this one. Talk, 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 talk.
So it's really important to have conversations about all different topics to get to know each other in a real honest way. And so if you need help coming up with some topics to talk about, we actually have an e-course that I created called Is He Right For You? And it walks you through 25 questions. It's kind of like a personality test meets dating advice. It's really fun. Walks you through 25 questions that help you figure out, is my relationship healthy in this area? And if you and your boyfriend can talk through those 25 questions, that'll put you in a really good place.
And I think you'll find, and what I found in my relationship with Tiffany is because we had such great chemistry, it was easy to have a conversation like that. Much easier than ones like that I think I'd had with past girlfriends. Obviously, those relationships didn't work out. And
also, I talk a lot more than most people.
Well, that is also true. But I think that the way those conversations go is a really good barometer of the health of your relationship.
Now, this is for when you're really serious, like you're considering maybe getting married down the road, something like that. That's when this book is most helpful. Is He Right For You? It's linked down in the description below. And the last tip, tip number 5, is be yourself. Because you can't figure out if a relationship really works unless if both of you are really being yourself. Like when you guys are together, do you like the person you are when you're with him? Because we all are affected by people around us. Do your friends and your family see a significant change in your personality? With my first boyfriend, my youth pastor was one of the first to notice, and he's like, you're not the same person when you're with this guy, and not in a good way. And I ignored the advice. I should have listened though, because he was right. It was like I was becoming someone I thought my boyfriend wanted, and it was not healthy. That doesn't mean you can't grow and change, but you want to be true to who you really are.
Yeah, and I think a good boyfriend is going to be really supportive of you doing that.
Yeah.
Supportive of you taking time to see your girlfriends. Supportive of you doing the hobbies that you like, or the exercise, or the serving that you want to do. You won't necessarily be able to do everything you used to be able to do, because now you're spending time with him and you're developing these shared activities. But a good boyfriend's going to be really supportive of you having you time.
Yeah. So if you want to talk more about what to do when you're getting serious, I have a playlist for you. It is right up here. Check it out. And also check out the Is He Right For You course and go through those 25 questions as a couple. Love you girls, and we'll see you again next week. Hopefully no more coronavirus hair.